Throughout my journey creating content, I am not a stranger to being seen, being perceived. So I naturally, out of obligation, have paid attention to looking my best and trying to be more presentable for the camera. Somehow along the journey, I have accidentally become more presentable. Not my words, but people have told me. And so today, as I looked into the camera, I thought, I do see it. I do see the change. I do see the transformation. I do see the glow up. And in the past, I have alluded to little things I've done here and there. But I thought today, since my hair has been the longest it's ever been, my skin has been the best it's ever been, I figured I'd take this opportunity to just address every single thing, every single question that you guys have asked me in regards to my looks, my glow up, so to speak. So stay all the way till the end because I'm going to talk about some of the soft, intangible, and perhaps woo-woo stuff and the hard, concrete, tangible stuff like medical spa and how to lose weight. So you're in for a good one. So let's talk about the soft, intangible woo-woo side of things first, even though I don't necessarily think that they're woo-woo, but to an outsider, it might be perceived as woo-woo, but regardless, principle number one is that I want you to believe that your looks, your genes are not as fixed, are not as permanent as you had thought. Your environment, for starters, whether it's physical environment, how polluted the area that you live in is, or it's subtle emotional environmental influences, your posture, how you breathe, how you walk, how you perceive yourself will change your looks for the better or for the worse. Two identical twins will look the same when they're born, but as they get older, maybe their lifestyle change, maybe as they get older, how much they take care of themselves will all change how they look. And the most noticeable one is breathing. If you breathe through your mouth, you're gonna have a short, recessed, receded chin, and that has impacted me also. Although some of it is also genetics, it's not completely in your control, but just know that for the most part, if you catch it early on, if you have posture issues or if you have breathing issues, they're not 100% reversible, but it certainly can be changed. Your body is actually a lot more malleable than you think. It can be changed, and you have to go into this journey believing that it can be changed. Otherwise, no amount of trying, no amount of effort is gonna amount to anything if you don't even have that belief within yourself. But also bear in mind that you're not gonna look like someone different than your ethnicity. Like, I'm not gonna look like Emily Ratajkowski, but what I can aspire to is look my best. Principle number two is equally as important, which is you have to feel like you deserve to be beautiful. This is something I struggle with because I was in a toxic relationship with a guy that was really insecure. I was also insecure, and being with someone even more insecure just makes you feel you can't outdo them, you can't outshine them, because you're trying to protect the status quo, you're trying to not rock the boat. And second of all, you just don't feel like you deserve to be beautiful because they've made you feel so unworthy, made you feel so less than, made you feel so ugly that you just gave up trying. Getting out of that toxic relationship, that toxic dynamic is another topic for another day. Regardless, if you ever reach that realization, oh, this is beneath me, I need to rise up, I need to be someone that I was actually born to be, I deserve to feel beautiful, this is the starting point, okay? Another point is that don't lump yourself into an arbitrary category. And schools somehow, or parents have drummed that belief into us. There's the beautiful group of people, there's a smart group of people. You're a mom now, you can't dress like a young girl, or you're a scholar, you can't act unprofessional. No, I feel like that is a byproduct of the male gaze. That is a byproduct of the patriarchy, because if men can group us into these arbitrary categories. It's easier for them to control us. It's easier for companies to sell stuff to overcome our insecurities. And I want you to stop doing that. No matter who you are, what you do, how old you are, you deserve to be beautiful. You can be beautiful. There is no, okay, I'm a scholar. I teach at a university. I can't be beautiful. Sure, you need to dress appropriately for the occasion, but you still have the capacity to be beautiful. Principle number 3, you have to have a abundance mindset to invite more beauty into your life. When I say invite more beauty, I don't just mean beauty of people, beauty like physical transient beauty. I mean beautiful flowers, beautiful knickknacks. Beauty is just symmetry, good proportion. It gives you a sense of joy. It gives you a sense that life is good. The more you organize your life around the word beauty, the more you will want to embody that beauty. Notice my room. My room is always organized. My room, you'll never catch me have a messy room. This is very me. Everything I own, everything I do, I put a lot of thought, I put a lot of design, a lot of heart into it, and that is all beauty. And so naturally for me, when I see a beautiful girl, I'm like, oh my god, life is great. If someone is so beautiful and it's nice to look at, I can also rise up to the occasion. I can always look my best. And this is another thing that I want you to take away along with this abundance mindset, is that don't be afraid to look your best every single day. People, and especially women, and especially people that work from home, when you've grown accustomed to wearing loungewear every single day, or maybe you're surrounded by people that wear sportswear or wear informal clothing all the time, it feels a bit jarring for you to go, okay, this dress is nice. It's still like, I don't deserve to look my best. I don't want to stick out. I don't want people to think that I'm trying, especially when no one is trying. No. Let them rise up to your level. Let them realize, oh my god, I've been underdressing. Don't think that you're overdressing. Don't think that you putting on makeup is calling attention to you. If you have the desire to look your best, don't discourage yourself immediately by thinking, oh, the place that I'm going to, no one is gonna look their best, so why do I even want to try? Why do I want to stick out like a sore thumb? Let's not do that anymore. I have dressed up to the max, not for anyone else, but for myself, to every occasion. When I go to the gym, when I just hang out with my friends, sitting down in front of my vanity desk and putting on makeup is like a little meditation for me. And you don't have to do a lot. It could just be mascara, it could just be brows, it could just be a light layer of foundation. But the point is, you feel good about yourself. And when you arrive at this function, people will notice your energy. And I have done that so many times that my friends, whenever they know that I'm going, they will always try to look your best. Just the average level of attractiveness of all my friends have gone up. I mean, they've always been attractive. They've always looked like that, but it's like now they care more about being presentable and looking their best. And when we go out, it's like, ooh, who are they? Look at these models. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty, the tangible, measurable, quantifiable things. And I want to start out with my weight loss. At my heaviest, which is 2019, I weighed about 160 pounds. That is the heaviest I've ever gotten. It is a result of being heartbroken, moving to America, which is a new environment, the urban planning part, not being able to walk anywhere, everything being so car dependent. In hindsight, it has played such a big factor. At the time, I didn't really notice it until it was too late. Like, it's a very gradual process. Like, before you figure out how to lose your weight, you have to figure out how you've gained weight, and you need to reverse engineer that. So I had a wake up moment in 2019 where I basically realized, oh my god, I weigh this much. I took a picture of my body, front and back, and also the side. Rather than immediately punishing myself, I just went, okay, what was the reason behind that? Can we reverse engineer that? Can we now come up with a plan? It's not gonna be immediate. We can still do this slowly in the long term. and it's gonna stick. So even when it comes to weight loss, I don't want you to think subtraction. I don't want you to think crash diet. What do I mean by subtraction? So weight loss, I don't even like the word loss itself because it implies we're trying to take things away from your body. And your body, if you believe in mind-body connection, your body is desperately trying to hold on to status quo, trying to hold on to whatever fat you got going on, because they're all there to provide for you, to provide fuel for you. The minute you think, I want to take away things, I want to lose weight, your body just immediately goes into preservation mode. That's why when people stop eating, go into these crash diets, sure, they might lose weight in the very beginning, but it's all water weight and it's gonna bounce back immediately because eventually your body is gonna reach plateau and think, oh my god, I need to go into preservation mode because I'm losing fuel, I'm losing fat. Let's hold on to everything. I'm gonna defer to a lot of content creators on weight loss, on fitness, but they'll agree with me. Rather than trying to lose weight, trying to do subtraction, I want you to do addition. How many steps could I take in a day? How many more steps could I take in a day? How many more times could I go to the gym? How many more proteins could I add to my diet? In the beginning, you want to add as much as you can. Add more consumption of energy. If you just walk more or work out more, do some light cardio, do some light strength training, you will lose weight even if you're eating about the same or eating even more sometimes. But once you've established a steady routine, now you can look at your diet, not to take anything out, but to optimize it. This is a thing that I've learned from my trainer. She's like, you need to be eating more proteins and like slightly cut down on your fat intake, on your carbs intake. But man, I was actually eating more when I was trying to lose weight. Technically, I was trying to change my body composition, but for a layperson, let's just call it losing weight, right? Overall, my weight loss process has been very gradual. I just had this belief that if I just kept going, if I just kept showing up for 5 minutes a day, if I got over my gym intimidation, and somehow through observing people, I can build a routine. That routine, that system is gonna yield results. And I don't care about how big or how drastic the results are, but I know those results are gonna stay, they're sustainable, they can slowly snowball into bigger results. And look at me now. I may not look the best. I may not look even my best. I still have not reached my highest potential when it comes to gaining muscles, but I now weigh the lightest I've ever weighed in my last 5 years. Now when I go to the gym, first of all, I'm not intimidated. I know where things are. I know my routine for the back, my routine for my glutes. I just show up like I know what's up. Every time I go, I try to stay a bit longer. I try to incorporate more exercises, more stretches. I injure myself less. Not that I've severely injured myself, but every now and then I can notice that, oh, I'm not using the right muscle. So that's all I'm gonna say on weight loss. But what I will say is this: how I feel about weight loss is the same as how I feel about learning English. You're never gonna see me talk about crash diets, just like you're never gonna see me talk about memorizing vocab overnight. If you're serious about weight loss, just realize that yes, you can do it, and try to do addition, not subtraction, and just show up every single day or show up consistently. That kind of routine will be the foundation upon which you can add more challenges. Finally, let's talk about all the procedures I've done to my face. But I want to start out with stuff that I didn't do, notably my nose. For some reason, my nose gets asked about the most because I used to wear glasses, and this is like people in real life too. I grew up wearing glasses since I was a teenager, and so when I stopped wearing glasses and started wearing contact lenses, people were like, oh my god, your nose, did you get a nose job? When I think it's a combination of two things. One, my glasses were hiding my nose bridge. Like, they've always been kind of tall, at least like from this side it looks kind of tall. From this side it's like, oh, it's just a regular nose. Once I stopped wearing glasses, like my nose went from this to this, right? And then the second thing is I grew out of my adolescence, so my nose wasn't as oily as before. And so when your oil glands shrink, your nose kind of shrinks. When I look back on my photos, my nose hasn't really changed all that much. It's just optical illusion, I guess. Now let's talk about things I've done. The big things are chin filler, not chin implant, but filler. The last time I got a chin filler was about a year and a half ago, maybe a year ago. I think that is the thing that like completely changed my profile, changed the proportion of my face. In addition to that, I also did, like, I started out with therapy, which is Chao Shen Dao. I don't exactly know how it works, but they told me it's to induce like very superficial cuts, so your face will think, oh my god, we're under attack, let's generate new collagen, let's generate firmer skin. And so that was what I started out with, but the last time I got it on therapy was about a year and a half ago. So I don't think it's actually in effect, and it's so painful. Actually, it's painful and expensive. So for me, it's not worth it at this point. In addition to therapy, I also did 溶脂针, which is fat dissolving injection, but I try not to do it more than once a year. The last time I got it was last summer, and it's still pretty much in effect. In terms of like the contour, the profile of my face, those are the things I've done. And every now and then, about like every 3 months or so, I go in to get like 水光针or get like lifting spot treatments, just to maintain everything. In addition to medical spa, I have also noticed that my orthodontic procedures, like getting Invisalign 2-3 years ago, also helped, because now when I look back on my photos, on my videos, I noticed that there's a slight overbite. Even though when I got the Invisalign, it wasn't due to like any obvious teeth issue. It was because I had 2 missing teeth, and the teeth surrounding the missing teeth or caving in. So the dentist saw that and was like, if you ever want to get an implant in the future, you have to adjust your teeth first, because otherwise an implant won't fit in there. So it kind of happened as a fluke, like because I was trying to make sure that I could get implants, which I am, I accidentally fixed my teeth. Yeah, and I certainly don't have an overbite anymore. In terms of my body, it's all natural. I mean, I still don't look my best, but the proof is in the pudding, right? I certainly look better. And I did not get liposuction. It happened very gradually, although you probably notice it more in my face because I also did like all these med spa procedures to my face. I still think it's 50-50. If anything, I feel like my mentality changed. That was the foundation for every single thing I did after. Because if I didn't feel worthy to be beautiful in the first place, I wouldn't have even attempted. Or maybe I would just look like a carbon copy of everybody else instead of a fully fleshed out version of myself. Does that make sense? I hope you enjoyed this video, and I just want to say beauty is not vain, and beauty doesn't just pertain to a body's beauty, a physical, transient, mortal body. Beauty is in nature. Beauty is in the way you surround yourself with beautiful people, with people with inner beauty and outer beauty. Beauty has its practical function. So don't think that pursuing beauty is vain, is useless. Remember, just show up to the gym, just go for a walk. Don't be intimidated by this big weight loss journey. Don't think of it as a loss. Think of it as adding things on. Do addition, not subtraction. Good luck out there, and let me know how it goes. Bye.